Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Kristen, and today we are talking about the books that I read in January. Also, Happy New Year. I hope that 2022 is serving you well. I hope you're reading lots of awesome books. I know it's kind of been a while since I've done like a sit-down video where I talk about books, but I'm back. Anyways, while you're listening, whether you're chilling on the couch with some coffee or washing dishes and doing chores, I hope that you have been having a great reading month, and I'd love for you to just kind of share with me the books that you read in January and the ones that you really loved. So anyways, the very first book I finished this month, and my first book of the year, was an absolute hit, the best way to start off the year. It was a Bachman, friends, Frederick Bachman. The book that I read was the sequel to Beartown, one of my top reads, I guess you'd say 2 years ago, and it is Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. This book, beautiful, wonderful, everything I want in a book, basically. So it picks up where Beartown left off, and once again it involves this small town that is going through a lot of like dark issues, kind of like tension between people, and this time it really is rooted in like conflict based off of which hockey team they think is the best. So Beartown is divided between the Beartown hockey team and the head hockey team, and in typical Bachman fashion, it is just moving. It's more of a study of what it means to be human and conflict, and even among our differences, what is similar. Then it is a story about sports, but overall it is so wonderful and good, and I extremely recommend it. I gave it 5 stars because I thought that not only was it well written, but it was deeply moving. I reached catharsis because it made me cry, and I don't think that I could have started off the year in a better way. Also, I read that book physical copy. And now, moving on to the next book I finished, it was an audiobook. This was my first Kazuo Ishiguro book, and it was The Remains of the Day. So I also enjoyed this one. I think I gave it 5 stars as well. But throughout the whole time listening to it, I kind of felt like it was just average until I got to the end and everything kind of came together, and I remember sobbing my eyes out at the end of this book. Basically, what it is it follows the story of a butler in one of the last great English houses of all time. Kind of everything this butler has believed in and stood up for his whole life has kind of proven to be for naught, almost. Like, butlers are going out of fashion, and the man that he supported in his household maybe wasn't all that he thought he was, and because of his devotion to his job, he ends up having some regrets, I would say, or maybe that's up for debate, but regardless, his story is sad and kind of inspiring. I don't know, but it was well written, and once I got to the end, just the emotion it evoked for me, I felt like kind of put it into that 5-star read. It has a little bit of Downton Abbey vibes, but it really is kind of this like introspective look back on this life of a butler. So if that's what you're into, there you go. Alright, and the third book that I read was Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. This book was the Top Shelf Society pick for the month of January, and it was a little bit intimidating for me just in the fact that it was this long fantasy. If you know me, I love my short general fiction, packs a punch, character study books, okay? So this was a little different, but I did love the premise of it going into it. So Spinning Silver is a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, and it was beautiful. So it follows this girl who can, first, she's just really good at bargaining. She can turn cheap things into something more expensive. She's a good business lady, whatever. But then there's this Steric ruler, this kind of winter king, I guess you could say, who is obsessed with gold. And once he realizes our main character's ability, he gets into a bargain deal with her. And the story follows what happens with our main character and the Winter King. We also have a few different points of views in the story. One of them being a lady whose husband is possessed by a fire demon. So the story is really interesting because there are these conflicting forces between the winter chill and the heat and fire. I thought it was a really great winter read just because of the snowy atmosphere, the ice, and overall I ended up liking it. When it comes to a star rating for this one, I think I would give it like a 3.5 stars. It was good. It just was not like the book for me, but it was super atmospheric. Okay, and book number 4, I actually have not finished it yet, and in fact, I may not finish it before January is over. I don't know. It's the 29th when I'm filming this right now, but I want to go ahead and talk about it because it's really great. That book is the Magnolia Palace. It was the book I got from Book of the Month. It's a historical fiction book that is set in 2 different timelines. So one is in like the early 1900s, and then we have kind of like the mid 1900s. And it follows the story of 2 characters. The first one is this beautiful lady who goes by the name Angelica because she is angelic, and she is the muse of all of these famous sculptors and painters, but she's kind of gotten herself into a situation where she can't really, she's gotten old, and people don't really think that she's, I mean by old, I mean 20. But the artists think that she's too old for her job. Her body is too developed now, and so she's not a good muse. And so she's got to find something else to do with her life, and she accidentally gets involved in this like police scene, and she has to flee, and she's trying to get to California to maybe make some money as a movie star, and her mom has just passed away. So we've got all of that going on, and she ends up getting a position in this kind of big estate as a private secretary. Well, in the other storyline, flash forward 50 years, and there's this aspiring model who's in a very similar situation as the other main character, and she winds up doing a photo shoot in the Frick house, and while she's there, she uncovers these like secret clues for a scavenger hunt. I love it. I'm at the midpoint right now, and there's this romance that I kind of was expecting, but like now that it's happened, like I really love it, and the history is interesting, and oh, it just reminds me of why I love historical fiction in the first place. So that will probably be the 4th book I finish for the month. And anyways, there you go. Those are the 3.5 books that I finished in the month of January. Please let me know what books you finished and loved. If you're interested in seeing like a video about my reading goals for the year, let me know that too. I would love to share those. Probably will if teaching and coaching and all of that other stuff doesn't like overtake my life. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.